everyone, and welcome back to Love English Lab. I'm Megan.
And I'm Michael. Today we're going to talk about something we all do, go into the supermarket.
That's right. It sounds so simple, but when you do it in English, it can actually feel a little scary.
Oh yes. Imagine you're in another country, standing in a big supermarket, and suddenly you realize you don't know how to ask where the bread is.
That actually happened to me once. I was in London, and I wanted to buy rice. I thought I could just find it by walking around, but after 10 minutes, I was completely lost between pasta, noodles, and cereals.
And did you ask someone?
Well, I tried. I went up to a worker and said, "Rice? Where?" That was all I managed to say.
Oh no, what did they do?
They looked at me with sympathy and then pointed. Luckily, I got my rice. But I remember thinking, wow, I really need to learn how to ask simple supermarket questions in English.
Exactly. And that's why this episode is so useful. Because we're not talking about business English or travel English or academic English. We're talking about real life English.
Yes, the English you need when you're standing in the aisle, confused between flour and flour, or when the cashier asks you something you don't understand.
Oh yes, that happened to me in New York. I bought some groceries and the cashier asked, "Do you need a bag?" But she said it so fast that I thought she was asking about my day. I just smiled and said, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you."
Oh no.
Then she repeated, "Do you need a bag?" And I finally understood. I said, "Yes, please." But by then, there was already a long line of people behind me, watching me panic.
That's so funny, but also so real. These are the little moments when English feels harder than it should.
Exactly. And that's what we're here for, to help our listeners feel more confident in these everyday situations.
Yes, so in today's episode, we'll take you through the entire supermarket journey,
From the moment you enter and ask where something is,
to choosing products and comparing prices,
to paying at the checkout, and even returning something if there's a problem.
and along the way, we'll share some of our own supermarket stories. Some embarrassing, some funny, and some where we actually did well.
Yes, because let's be honest, Megan and I have both had our share of supermarket disasters.
True. For example, once I wanted to buy chicken breast, but I didn't know how to say it, so I asked for chicken chest. The butcher gave me the strangest look.
Oh no, that must have been awkward.
It was, but I learned something new that day.
And that's the good part. Every mistake is a lesson.
Exactly. And that's the spirit of this episode. We want you to laugh, to learn, and to feel ready for your next trip to the supermarket in English.
And remember, supermarkets are also a great place to practice. You don't need to wait for a business meeting to use your English. You can practice when you're buying bananas.
Yes, and bananas are actually a good example. Do you know the difference between a banana and a bunch of bananas?
Oh yes, that's a classic, and we'll explain it in detail later.
Perfect.
So, to all our listeners, here's our promise. By the end of this episode, you'll know the most important supermarket phrases, you'll understand the cashier's questions, and you'll feel less nervous about speaking.
And maybe you'll even enjoy it.
Exactly. Because English isn't just for classrooms, it's for life.
All right, are you ready to dive into the first supermarket situation?
Let's go. Okay, Megan, let's start with the very first challenge in a supermarket, finding what you need.
Yes, because supermarkets can be huge, and even if you speak English, sometimes you still get lost.
Totally. And when you're in another country, the signs might not make sense right away.
Right? For example, in the UK, you'll see a sign that says confectionery. The first time I saw that word, I thought, what is that? Some kind of medicine?
Oh yes, it even sounds like pharmacy.
Exactly. But it just means candy and sweets.
And that's why it's so useful to know how to ask for items. Sometimes you won't understand the signs, or you just won't see what you're looking for.
Yes. And let's be honest, most of us, when we don't know the words, just point and say something like, this?
I've done that so many times. but it's not very clear and sometimes it makes you feel embarrassed.
Exactly. So today we're going to give you some simple, polite phrases you can use to ask for help.
Perfect. Let's start with the most basic one. Excuse me. Where can I find?
Yes, that's like the magic phrase. You can put any product after it.
For example, excuse me, where can I find the milk?
Or, excuse me, where can I find the rice?
Exactly. It's short, polite, and clear.
Another variation is, could you tell me where the is?
Yes, that's a little more formal, but also very common. Like, could you tell me where the bread is?
Right? And you can also say, do you know if you have almond milk?
Perfect.
Let's do a role play. Michael, you be the customer, and I'll be the worker.
Okay. Excuse me, where can I find the eggs?
They're in aisle 4, next to the milk.
Perfect. That's realistic.
Yes. And sometimes they'll just point or say aisle 3. So you need to understand the word aisle.
Oh, yes. For our listeners, aisle means the long passage between rows in a supermarket. The A is silent, so it's pronounced just like the word aisle or mile and smile.
Exactly. So don't say aisle. It's just aisle.
Great tip.
Now, let's share some funny stories about asking for items.
Okay, I'll start. One time I was in Canada and I wanted butter, but I forgot the word. So I asked the worker, "Excuse me, do you have cow cheese?"
Oh no.
Yeah, the worker looked so confused. Finally, he said, "Do you mean butter?" And I said, "Yes, butter."
That's hilarious.
What about you, Megan?
For me, it was in the US. I wanted flour to bake a cake, but I confused it with flour. So I said, "Excuse me, where can I find the flowers for cake?" The worker started leading me to the plant section.
Oh no, that's classic.
Yeah, I had to correct myself quickly, but I learned flour is for baking, flour is the plant.
That's such a common mistake.
Exactly. And mistakes like these are funny, but they also help you remember the right word forever.
True.
Now, let's give our listeners a list of some common supermarket items they might need to ask for.
Good idea. Milk, eggs, bread, butter, cheese, rice, pasta, chicken, fish, bananas, apples, coffee, tea.
Perfect. So here's the practice. Take those words and put them in the phrase, "Excuse me, where can I find?"
Yes. For example, excuse me, where can I find the bananas?
Or, "Excuse me, where can I find the coffee?"
Exactly.
Let's make it more fun. Michael, I'll be the lost customer, and you be the helpful worker.
Okay.
Excuse me, where can I find the sugar?
Aisle 6, next to the coffee.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Let's do another one.
Okay, excuse me, do you know if you have gluten-free bread?
Yes, it's in the special diet section, aisle 9.
Nice.
See, listeners? It's all about being polite and clear.
Yes. And remember, excuse me is the most important part. If you just say, "Where is rice?" it sounds a bit rude.
Exactly. Always start with, excuse me.
Another tip. Sometimes workers are busy, and they might just say, "Aisle 4. Don't panic. Just go and look.
Yes. And if you didn't understand, don't be afraid to ask again. Sorry, could you repeat that?
Perfect.
Okay, let's give a few more advanced phrases.
Sure. For example, I'm looking for olive oil.
Or, do you happen to have, soy sauce?
Nice! That sounds very polite.
Yes.
Now, let's do one last role play with a funny twist.
Okay.
Excuse me, where can I find the chicken?
We don't have chicken, only dinosaurs.
Oh no.
Just kidding. But humor is also a way to relax in these situations.
Yes, don't be afraid to smile and laugh. It makes communication easier.
Exactly.
So, to wrap up this chapter, the key phrase is, "Excuse me, where can I find?" Use it, practice it, and you'll never be lost in a supermarket again.
Perfect. And remember, mistakes are part of the journey. If you confuse flour and flour, don't worry. You'll have a funny story to tell.
Exactly.
All right, that's chapter 1. In the next chapter, we'll talk about quantities and packaging, how to ask for a loaf of bread, a bottle of water, or a dozen eggs.
Oh, yes, that's going to be fun because supermarkets are full of tricky words when it comes to sizes and packages.
Let's dive into that next. So, Megan, now that we've figured out how to ask where things are in the supermarket, I think the next big challenge is how to ask for the right amount of things.
Oh, yes, definitely. Because if you don't know the right words, you can sound really funny. For example, instead of saying a loaf of bread, you might just say one bread. And then the cashier looks at you like, what do you mean, one bread?
That actually happened to me once. I just said, I want bread, and the worker gave me a huge bag of small bread rolls. I only wanted one sandwich loaf.
Exactly. I remember once I wanted bread too, and I said, a piece of bread. The worker smiled and said, do you mean a loaf of bread? That's when I realized that in English, bread usually comes as a loaf.
Right? And it's the same with water. If you just say, I want water, people might point to the whole section. But if you say, a bottle of water, they know exactly what you mean.
Oh, yes. And you can also say a carton of milk when it comes in boxes, or a jar of jam when it's something in a glass container.
Exactly. I once asked for strawberry sauce because I didn't know the word jam. The cashier laughed and said, oh, you mean a jar of jam.
That's adorable. I had the same problem with chocolate. I said, a stick of chocolate, and the worker corrected me, you mean a bar of chocolate.
A stick of chocolate sounds like something you'd take camping.
Yeah, I know, but now I'll never forget, it's a bar of chocolate.
And bananas too. That's another one that confused me. One time I wanted just a few bananas, so I said 3 banana trees.
You didn't.
I did. And the woman looked at me like, you want to buy trees? Then she corrected me. Do you mean a bunch of bananas? And I said, yes, a bunch of bananas.
That's brilliant. See, that's the thing. English has these special words for packaging, and if you don't know them, you end up with very funny mistakes.
Exactly. And eggs are another classic. You don't usually say 12 eggs, you say a dozen eggs.
Yes. I remember asking for 12 chickens.
Oh my God, Megan, you didn't.
I did. The cashier almost fainted. She thought I wanted live chickens. Then I quickly corrected myself. Sorry, I mean a dozen eggs.
Oh, that's priceless.
And I think our listeners are probably laughing with us, but also learning at the same time.
Yes. So let's show them how to use these words naturally in conversation. For example, if I say, Megan, could you grab me a bottle of water and a bar of chocolate? You know exactly what I mean.
Totally. And if I ask you, Michael, can you get a carton of milk and a loaf of bread? You can picture it immediately.
Yes, because those words, bottle, bar, carton, loaf, make everything clear.
And sometimes they even save you money. Once I asked for a pack of cookies, instead of just saying cookies, and the worker gave me the family size pack, which was much cheaper per cookie.
Oh yes, pack of cookies is the normal way to say it. And if it's chips, you can say a packet of chips.
Exactly.
You know, I think these mistakes are funny, but they also help us become more confident. Because once you've embarrassed yourself by asking for a stick of chocolate or 12 chickens, you never forget the right words again.
So true. And I think it's important to laugh at yourself in these situations.
Absolutely.
Let's do a little supermarket scene to show how it works.
Perfect. I'll be the customer, you be the cashier.
Okay, go.
Hi, I'd like a loaf of bread, a carton of milk, a jar of strawberry jam, and a bunch of bananas, please.
Sure. Anything else?
Yes, a bar of chocolate and a pack of cookies.
Great. That'll be 15 pounds.
Perfect little shopping trip.
Exactly. And listeners, you can practice this at home. Just imagine you're in a store and say it out loud. I'd like a loaf of bread, a bottle of water, a dozen eggs.
Yes, practice is the key.
Now, Let me tell you another embarrassing story. I was in the US and I wanted tuna. I didn't know how to say a can of tuna, so I said, I want a tuna box.
A tuna box. That sounds like cat food packaging.
Exactly. The worker looked at me strangely and then said, Do you mean a can of tuna? That's when I learned the difference.
Yes. A can of tuna, a can of soda, a can of beans. That's the right way.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, once you know these little words, loaf, bottle, jar, carton, bunch, bar, pack, can, you suddenly sound much more natural.
Yes, and it avoids confusion.
So here's a challenge for our listeners. Next time you make a shopping list, don't just write milk, bread, and eggs. Write a carton of milk, a loaf of bread, a dozen eggs.
Yes. And then practice saying it. I need a carton of milk, a loaf of bread, and a dozen eggs. It feels more real, like you're actually shopping in English.
Exactly.
All right, I think we've given plenty of stories and examples.
Yes. And I hope our listeners enjoyed laughing at our mistakes, because they're probably going to make the same ones, and that's totally fine.
Exactly. Every mistake is a step toward confidence.
Okay, so that's chapter 2. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about comparing prices and offers, because who doesn't love a discount?
Oh, yes, that's a big one. Phrases like, is this on sale? Or, 2 for the price of 1 can save you money and make shopping fun.
Let's get ready for that. Okay, Megan. So now we know how to ask where things are and how to ask for the right amount, like a loaf of bread or a bottle of water.
Yes, and now it's time for my favorite part of supermarket shopping, finding good prices and special offers.
Oh, I love this too. Nothing makes me happier than seeing that little red sticker that says sale or special offer.
Same here. I once went to the supermarket just to buy milk and bread, but when I saw buy one, get one free on cookies, I left with 3 packs.
That's so typical. You go in for one thing and leave with 10, all because of offers.
Exactly. But the challenge in English is how to ask about prices and how to understand what those offers mean.
Yes. Let's start with prices. I remember the first time I tried to ask. I just pointed at something and said, "How much this?"
Oh, yes. That's the classic mistake.
Yeah, it worked, but it sounded very basic. The worker answered, "It's $2, but I knew I needed to learn the proper way."
The more natural way is to say, How much is this? Or, How much does this cost?
Yes, and if you're pointing at something far away, you can say, "Excuse me, how much is that one?"
Exactly. I remember being in New York and asking, What is the price of this? The cashier smiled politely, but later I realized it sounded a bit formal. The usual way is just, How much is this?
Yes, short and simple.
And then comes the next level, comparing prices. I once said, This one is more cheap.
Oh no.
Yeah, the worker corrected me. Cheaper, not more cheap. That mistake burned into my brain forever.
I did the same with expensive. I said, "This is expensiver than that."
Expensiver?
I know. The cashier laughed, and I turned bright red.
But now we know. You just say, This is cheaper than that, or This is more expensive than that.
Yes. And those phrases are so useful in supermarkets, especially if you're trying to save money.
Totally. Like when you see 2 different brands of milk, you can say, This one is cheaper than that one.
Or when you see apples from 2 countries, and one says $3 and the other says 5, you can say, "These apples are more expensive."
Yes, and that's how you learn to talk about comparisons in real life.
Now, let's talk about offers. Those can be confusing in English.
Oh, yes. I remember the first time I saw 2 for 1. I thought it meant $2 for one item.
Oh no.
Yeah, I thought, that's expensive. But really it means buy one, get one free.
Exactly. And another one that confused me was 2 for $5. I thought it meant $2 for 5 items.
That would have been amazing.
I know, but it actually means you get 2 items for $5.
Yes, and sometimes it's tricky because you need to do quick math in your head.
Oh, yes. Once I saw 3 for the price of 2. I thought, what does that mean? I had to ask.
Yeah, that means if you buy 3, you only pay for 2.
Exactly. But if you don't know, you might miss a good deal.
True, and it's worth asking. You can always say, "Excuse me, is this on sale?"
Yes, that's a great phrase. I once tried to say it, but I said, is this in discount?
In discount?
Yeah, the worker understood but corrected me. On sale.
Exactly. It's always on sale.
And if you're not sure, you can also ask, is there a special offer on this?
Yes, and then they'll usually explain.
I think supermarkets are like free English classes.
Yes, every time you go, you practice real vocabulary.
Exactly.
Let's act out a scene to show how this works.
Perfect. I'll be the customer, you be the cashier.
Okay,
Excuse me, how much is this bar of chocolate?
that one is $2, but if you buy 2, it's $3.
Oh, so 2 for $3.
Yes, that's right.
Great, I'll take 2 then.
Perfect. That's a real conversation.
Exactly. And listeners, notice how natural it sounds when you use words like bar of chocolate and 2 for $3.
Yes.
Another example, imagine you see 2 packs of cookies. One is $3, the other is 5. You can ask, why is this one more expensive than that one?
Yes, and the worker might say, "Because it's a bigger pack."
Exactly.
Once I asked about apples. I saw red apples for $4 and green apples for 2. I asked, "Why are the red ones more expensive?" And the worker said, "Because they're organic."
Oh yes, organic usually means more expensive.
Exactly. And that's another word you see a lot in supermarkets.
Yes.
I think for our listeners, it's important to practice phrases like, "How much is this? Is this on sale? This one is cheaper than that one." And "Why is this more expensive?"
Totally. Those will cover almost every situation.
And don't forget loyalty cards. Sometimes the cashier asks, "Do you have a loyalty card?"
Oh yes. The first time someone asked me that, I said, I'm loyal. Yes.
Oh no,
Yeah, I thought they were asking about my personality.
that's so funny. But really, they're asking if you have the store's special card for discounts.
Yes. And you can answer, no, I don't have one, or yes, here it is.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do another role play.
Sure.
Excuse me, is this pack of pasta on sale?
Yes, it's 2 for $5.
Oh, great. I'll take 2 then.
Perfect.
See? Easy and useful.
Yes, and once you practice this a few times, you'll feel more confident.
Exactly.
So, to wrap up this chapter, when you're shopping, don't just grab items. Ask questions, compare prices, and look for offers. It's a chance to save money and practice English.
Exactly. And remember, on sale, cheaper, more expensive, 2 for 1, buy 1, get 1 free. Those phrases will make you a smart shopper.
And a confident English speaker.
Yes.
Okay, so that's chapter 3. In the next one, we'll talk about the checkout, the final challenge, where you face the cashier.
Oh, yes, that's where all the unexpected questions happen. Do you need a bag? Credit or debit? Do you have a loyalty card?
Exactly. And we'll share our funny mistakes there too.
Let's get ready for it. Okay, Megan, we've walked through the aisles, we've compared prices, we've found the best offers, and now comes the final challenge of the supermarket, the checkout.
Oh, yes. This is the moment when everything can fall apart. You've survived the shopping, but then the cashier starts talking really fast, and you don't understand anything.
Exactly, and it always feels like they're speaking at double speed.
Totally. I remember my first time in an American supermarket. I was at the checkout, and the cashier asked, "Do you have a loyalty card?" I panicked. I thought she asked, "Are you a loyal person?"
Oh no, what did you say?
I said, Yes, I'm very loyal. The cashier looked at me like, okay. Later, I realized she meant the supermarket discount card.
That's amazing. I had a similar problem in London. The cashier asked me, "Do you need a bag?" But she said it really fast, like, "Do you need a bag?" I thought she was asking about my day. So I just smiled and said, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you."
Oh my God, Michael.
Yeah, and then she repeated louder, "Do you need a bag?" And I finally understood. I said, "Yes, please." Meanwhile, everyone behind me in line was watching me panic.
That's so relatable. I think many of our listeners will laugh, but also recognize themselves in that story.
Exactly. So let's break down the key things you'll hear at the checkout.
First, do you need a bag? That's a classic. If you do, just say, yes, please. If you don't, no, thank you.
Yes. Simple and polite.
Another one, credit or debit?
Oh, yes. That confused me once. The cashier said it so quickly, it sounded like one long word, credit or debit. I thought she was asking me my name.
What did you say?
I just said, yes.
Oh no.
She laughed too and then explained, credit card or debit card. That's when I got it.
That's a great story. So, listeners, when you hear credit or debit, they just want to know which type of card you're using.
Exactly. And sometimes they just say cash or card.
Yes. And in that case, if you have cash, just say cash. If you have a card, say card. Easy.
Another one that always comes up is, do you have a loyalty card?
Yes. And if you don't, just say, no, I don't. If you do, you can hand it over and say, yes, here it is.
Exactly.
One more. Sometimes they ask, would you like your receipt?
Oh, yes, that's true. The first time I heard it, I didn't know the word receipt. I thought they were saying recipe.
Oh no. So what did you say?
I said, no thanks, I already know how to cook pasta.
That's incredible.
Yeah, the cashier laughed too. Then she showed me the paper and said, receipt. That's when I learned the difference. Receipt is the paper that shows what you bought.
Yes, very important difference.
Exactly.
Let's do a little role play to put this all together. I'll be the cashier, you'll be the customer.
Okay.
Hi, did you find everything okay?
Yes, thank you.
Do you need a bag?
Yes, please.
Credit or debit?
Credit, please.
Do you have a loyalty card?
No, I don't.
Would you like your receipt?
Yes, please.
Perfect. That's the smooth version.
Yes. And now let's show the funny version when you don't understand.
Okay, go.
Hi, did you find everything okay?
Yes.
Do you need a bag?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Oh no.
Credit or debit?
Yes.
That's so good.
See, listeners? That's what happens when you're not prepared.
Exactly. But it's okay. We've all been there. The important thing is to learn and laugh.
Yes. And remember, most cashiers are kind. If you don't understand, you can always say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?"
Yes, that's such a useful phrase.
Exactly.
Another tip, sometimes they ask, do you want to round up for charity?
Oh, yes, I've heard that. The first time, I didn't know what roundup meant.
Same here.
I said, "No, I don't want to run."
Oh no.
Yeah, I misunderstood. But really, it just means, do you want to add a few cents to help a charity?
Exactly. You can say yes, sure, or no, thank you.
That's a good one.
Okay, so let's do another role play, this time including that.
Perfect.
Your total is $18.50. Do you need a bag?
Yes, please.
Credit or debit?
Debit, please.
Do you have a loyalty card?
No, I don't.
Would you like to round up for charity?
Yes, sure.
Great, here's your receipt.
Perfect. Smooth and natural.
Exactly. And now our listeners can picture themselves doing this too.
Yes. And remember, the checkout is your last chance to make a polite impression. A smile and a thank you go a long way.
Totally agree.
Okay, Megan, quick question. What's the funniest checkout mistake you ever made?
Oh, that's easy. I once thought the cashier asked me, do you need cash back? but I thought she said, "Do you need ketchup?"
No way.
I said, "Yes, please, 1 bottle." She looked at me like I was crazy.
That's amazing.
Later, I learned cash back means when they give you money from your card, not ketchup.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What about you, Michael?
For me, it was when the cashier asked, "Do you need a bag?" I thought she was asking about my back, like my spine, so I answered, "No, my back is fine, thank you." She laughed so hard she almost forgot to give me my groceries.
That's legendary.
Yeah, embarrassing but unforgettable.
And that's the good part. Mistakes like these teach us better than any textbook.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's wrap up this chapter with the key message. At the checkout, expect fast English. Don't panic, smile, and remember the common phrases: do you need a bag? Credit or debit? Cash or card? Do you have a loyalty card? Would you like your receipt? And sometimes, do you want to round up for charity?
Yes, those are the big ones. If you know them, you'll survive any checkout line.
And maybe even make the cashier smile.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was chapter 4. In the next one, we'll talk about problems and returns. Because sometimes you get home and realize the milk is expired, or you bought the wrong thing.
Oh, yes, and that's when English becomes even more important, because asking for a refund or exchange can feel intimidating.
Exactly, but we'll show you how to do it with confidence.
Let's go. Okay, Megan, so we've made it through the supermarket, survived the checkout, and now comes the final, sometimes uncomfortable situation when something goes wrong.
Yes, because no matter how careful you are, sometimes you buy the wrong item, or something is expired, or maybe the cashier makes a mistake.
Exactly. And in those moments, English suddenly feels 10 times harder.
Oh, yes. I still remember the first time I tried to return something in English. I had bought a pack of yogurt, and when I got home, I realized it had already expired.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I went back to the store and said, "This is dead."
Oh my God, Megan.
I know. I wanted to say expired, but I didn't know the word. The worker looked at me shocked. I had to show the date, and then she said, "Oh, expired." That's when I learned the right word.
That's brilliant. My mistake was with the word refund. I once said, "I want my money back, return."
Oh no,
Yeah, the cashier was very patient. She smiled and said, "Do you mean refund?" And I said, "Yes, refund."
that's such a good story.
And that's the point. Supermarkets are perfect classrooms.
Yes. So let's help our listeners with some phrases they'll need if something goes wrong.
Okay. Imagine you bought a bottle of juice and it was already open. You can go to the counter and say, "Excuse me, I'd like to return this." It's already open.
Yes. Or if you bought milk and it was expired, you can say, "I think this is expired. Could I get a refund or exchange it?"
Perfect.
I also remember once buying apples, and when I got home, one of them was rotten. I went back and said, "Excuse me, these apples are bad." The worker thought I meant they were naughty apples.
Oh no.
Then she corrected me. "You can say spoiled or rotten."
That's so useful.
Yes.
Let's do a role play. I'll be the customer with a problem, and you'll be the worker.
Okay, go.
Excuse me, I bought this loaf of bread yesterday, but when I opened it today, it was already moldy.
I'm so sorry about that. Would you like to exchange it for another one? Or get a refund?
I'd like to exchange it, please.
Perfect. That's exactly how it works.
Yes, and it's not just about food. Sometimes the cashier makes a mistake on the bill.
Oh, yes. That happened to me once. I was charged for 2 bottles of olive oil, but I only bought 1. I went back and said, "I think there's a mistake on my receipt. I was charged for 2, but I only bought 1.
That's a great phrase.
Yes, and the cashier fixed it right away.
I once made a funny mistake with exchange. I wanted to say I'd like to exchange this, but I said I want to change my life.
Oh no, Michael.
Yeah, the worker looked very confused, like, that's not my job.
That's amazing.
But now I'll never forget, if you want another product, say exchange.
Exactly.
Let's imagine another role play, this time with a refund.
Sure.
Excuse me, I bought this pack of cookies, but when I opened it, it was empty.
Empty cookies.
I know, but let's pretend.
I'm so sorry. Would you like a refund or a new pack?
A refund, please.
No problem. I'll process that for you.
Perfect. That's exactly the kind of conversation you might have.
Yes.
And here's a little cultural tip. In many English-speaking countries, supermarkets are used to returns. Don't feel shy.
Exactly. In some countries it feels embarrassing, but in the US or UK, it's normal.
Yes.
I also learned another useful phrase. I'd like to speak to the manager.
Oh, yes. That's for when the problem's bigger.
Exactly. I had to use it once when the cashier didn't know how to do the refund.
Good example.
And it's always important to be polite. Smile, say, "Excuse me," and explain calmly.
Yes. If you shout, people get defensive. But if you're polite, they usually help quickly.
Totally agree.
Okay, Megan, what's the weirdest problem you've ever had in a supermarket?
Oh, that's easy. Once I bought a watermelon, and when I got home and cut it open, it was completely white inside.
What? No red at all?
No, it was like a giant cucumber. I went back and said, "Excuse me, my watermelon is broken."
Broken watermelon.
The worker laughed too and said, "You can just say it's not good." They gave me another one.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
For me, it was when I bought milk, and it exploded in my bag before I got home. I went back holding the dripping bag, and I said, "My milk is crazy."
No way.
Yeah, the cashier laughed so much. Then I corrected myself. "Sorry, my milk spilled. Can I get another one?"
That's a great story.
Embarrassing, but funny.
Exactly. And I think that's the perfect lesson for our listeners. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Problems and returns are uncomfortable, but if you stay calm and use simple phrases, you'll be fine.
Yes, and the workers are usually used to it.
Exactly.
So let's summarize this chapter. If you need to return something, you can say, "I'd like to return this," or "I'd like to exchange this." If you want your money back, you can say, "I'd like a refund, please." If something is expired, say, "This is expired." If it's bad, say, "This is spoiled," or "This is rotten." And always be polite.
Perfect summary.
And listeners, here's your practice homework. Imagine you bought something bad at the supermarket. Stand in front of a mirror and say, "Excuse me, I'd like to return this." It's expired. Do it 3 times until it feels natural.
Great idea.
Okay, Megan, we've reached the end of the supermarket journey. From asking where things are, to packaging, to comparing prices, to checkout, and finally returns.
Yes, it's been such a fun ride.
And in the next part, we'll close everything with our reflection.
Exactly. Let's do it. Wow, Michael, I can't believe we've reached the end of today's episode.
I know. We walked through the entire supermarket together, from getting lost in the aisles to returning spoiled milk.
Yes, it's been quite a journey, and I think our listeners probably laughed with us, but also learned some really useful English for everyday life.
Exactly. And that's the point. English isn't only for business meetings or exams. It's for daily situations like when you're hungry and just need a loaf of bread or a bottle of water.
Yes, and it's funny how those little words, loaf, bottle, jar, bunch, bar, can make you sound so much more natural.
Oh, yes. And don't forget the checkout phrases. I think everyone should practice "Do you need a bag?" and "credit" or "debit" before they go to a real supermarket. Otherwise, they might end up like me saying, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you."
That story will never get old.
But it's a reminder that mistakes are normal. You laugh, you learn, and next time, you get it right.
Exactly. And that's something I want our listeners to remember. Language learning isn't about being perfect. It's about communicating, even if you make mistakes.
Yes. And sometimes those mistakes make the best stories. Like when you asked for a stick of chocolate instead of a bar.
Oh no, don't remind me. But you're right. It was embarrassing at the time. But now it's funny, and I'll never forget the right phrase.
Exactly. And I think our listeners should take this attitude too. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to say the wrong thing. People will usually understand, and sometimes they'll even help you with the right word.
Yes. And you know what? Supermarkets are actually perfect practice grounds. You don't need a classroom to use English. You can practice when you're asking where the rice is, or when you're checking if the cookies are on sale.
Totally. And let's quickly recap the main lessons of today.
Sure. First, when you don't know where something is, just say, "Excuse me, where can I find?" That phrase is gold.
Yes. Then, for amounts, remember it's not one bread, but a loaf of bread, not a stick of chocolate, but a bar of chocolate.
Exactly. And when it comes to offers, don't get confused like we did. Buy one, get one free means you pay for one, but you take two. And two for $5 means you get two items for $5, not five items for $2.
Yes, that's an important one.
And finally, at the checkout, expect fast English. Practice. Yes, please. No, thank you. Credit, debit, and cash. Those little words will save you.
Perfect recap.
And of course, if you need to return something, don't be shy. Just say, "I'd like to return this," or "This is expired."
Yes. Keep it simple and polite.
Exactly.
So, to all our Love English Lab listeners, here's our challenge for you. Next time you write your shopping list, write it in English. Don't just put milk, eggs, bread. Write a carton of milk, a dozen eggs, a loaf of bread.
Yes. And when you're in the supermarket, imagine yourself speaking. Whisper it to yourself if you have to. Say, "Excuse me, where can I find the coffee?" Practice, practice, practice.
That's the secret.
And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to try.
Exactly. And who knows? Maybe your funny mistake will become your best English memory.
Totally.
So, before we say goodbye, let's thank our listeners.
Yes. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope you learned, laughed, and feel a little braver about your next supermarket trip.
And if you like this episode, please share it with a friend who's learning English too.
And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a lesson with us.
Right? And we'd love to hear from you. What's the funniest mistake you've ever made in a supermarket in English? Tell us in the comments. Okay, Megan, I think it's time to close.
Yes. To everyone listening, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep learning with us here at Love English Lab.
See you next time.